Hello everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing and demonstrating this Vax Spinscrub attachment. This is an optional extra for the Vax Tub 6131 wet dry multi-purpose vacuum. It will also fit other current Vax tub cleaners, including the VO20T, which is the model that I'll be using to demonstrate this particular head. I've got a dirty carpet behind me, so I'll be testing this head on the carpet, but I'll also be comparing it with the standard suction only head that you get supplied with the Vax 6131 and my current Vax model, the VO20T. So this is the head. It fits onto the end of the extension wand, much the same as your other wash head, but it also incorporates rotating spin scrub brushes. So this works on the air of the vacuum. The suction from the vacuum turns a turbine inside here, so similar to a turbo head on a vacuum cleaner. This is how this works. So it's not electrically driven, it's air driven. So basically what this does is spins at a high speed, distributes the shampoo into the carpet, scrubs it in, and then the narrow little suction inlet here at the front, it takes all the dirty water up the clear part here. You can see it going up and into the recovery bucket of the Vax. There's a foot operated switch at the back, so you can turn on and off the solution flow. So that's for off, and then you push it back to turn the solution on. Okay, I'm going to connect it to my Vax, but first of all I'm going to demonstrate the standard wash head that came with my particular Vax cleaner, and then we'll compare the performance of the Spinscrub head against the regular one. This is the Vax cleaner I'll be using for the demonstration. It's basically a shorter, fatter version of the 6131. This particular model didn't come with any dry cleaning tools, so it has the same action as the 6131. It still distributes the shampoo down the thin pipe and onto the cleaning head. So the way it works is identical to the 6131 and other similar Vax tub cleaners. So when I fit the Spinscrub brush on, if it works with this machine, it will work with the 6131. Of course, if you've got this machine, it'll work with this one as well, obviously. Now, this wash Vax is sitting on a very, very dirty rug. Now, I've had to dirty the rug, obviously. I don't live in a house this filthy. And to be honest, I dirtied this rug months ago. So, oh, it's gone all hard. It's not fresh staining. I did all this, as I said, months ago and forgot all about it and just rolled it up and put it in my garage. So today I've got time to do it. I'm hoping it's going to come clean. I bought this rug. It's only a cheap rug, but I bought it brand new in order to do some demonstrations on. So it's had a long time for these stains to actually dry in. Now it's a mixture. I've put on some gravy browning mixed with water, sprayed it on, which is what they do on the various home shopping channels. You may have seen demonstrations. That's what they do to make the carpets look dirty. But in addition to that, I've also, every time I've had a cup of coffee or a cup of hot chocolate, any dregs left in the mug, I've just sprinkled them on. I mean, it's modern art, isn't it? I mean, I could sell this probably in the Tate Gallery, but I'm going to hopefully clean all this up. So what I'm going to do, I've got the solution in the machine. I'm using genuine Vax Ultra solution. I'm going to first of all use the standard nozzle. I'm going to pass it a few times forward and back down one side of this rug, and then I'm going to compare it with the Spinscrub on the other side. disappointing. Now obviously we can start to see the original colour of this rug. It was almost white, very pale cream. Now it's done okay with the gravy browning, which I basically put in a sprayer and sprayed all over. It's done okay with that, and this is the sort of thing you see on the home shopping channels, but it hasn't really touched yet the other stuff. It's not touched the hot chocolate and the coffee dregs that I tipped all over. Oh dear, let's hope. Now I've no idea, because it's the first time I've tried this. What I'm going to do now is of course fit the Spinscrub head. Now I'm hoping that the combination of the fast spinning brushes will actually make a difference. I think it'll be easier to use as well. You could see the suction was, I was having a bit of trouble pushing this nozzle over the carpet, but I think this will glide over the carpet a bit easier, or the rug should I say. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to set it up, and we'll just see. I'll pass the Spinscrub head a few times next to this part I've done with the suction head, and we'll see if it's worth paying the extra to get this Spinscrub attachment. Now that, can you hear me? It does increase the noise level. It's quite a noisy vacuum carpet washer now, but incorporating the noise of the Spinscrub, it is quite deafening. That's surprising. Now it has a slightly, only very slightly wider path. I thought it was, no, it's really, it's hardly made any difference having a Spinscrub head. Now that is surprising. That really is surprising to me. What I think I'm going to have to do with this particular mess is really pre-treat it. So I'm not really sure how to do it. I don't have my pre-treatment wand. The only way actually of pre-treating this, what I could do, well, I was going to say I could disconnect the hose and just let the shampoo solution flow without it sucking it back up. I could do, but when using the Spinscrub head, obviously if I disconnect the hose, that cuts off the suction, so the brushes aren't going to start spinning. I'm just going to give it another go and see, but I'm surprised by that. You may have noticed I used the solution a few times. The solution was flowing about 3 or 4 times that I was passing the head over this area. Then I cut the solution flow off to help dry the carpet. But really, there's hardly any difference between the two heads. In fact, probably slightly, the standard head has seemed to have done a little bit better. This head's a lot easier to push, but I'm not really sure. Anyway, I'll give it another go. I'll just turn on, make sure the solution will flow when I switch the pump and motor on. you can see, by going over it a bit more, it's brightened up slightly. It certainly now looks better than the other side, but then again, of course, I've done it more. You shouldn't over wet your carpet. But it's not really, I mean, it has faded the coffee and hot chocolate stains a bit. As you can see, if I rub my finger, I mean, it's going to take a lot more agitation. I think I'll be better off with an upright carpet washer. I've moved the camera up to reveal another part of the rug. Now, mostly on this part of the rug is the gravy browning solution that I sprayed on. There isn't so much of the coffee and hot chocolate. I didn't really spill very much on this side. So let's do it again with the spin scrub head. We'll go this way for a change. We'll see what it does. I'll just make sure the solution flows when I turn the machine on. Let's move the cleaner a bit nearer. Well, as you can see, I have managed to restore the colour more or less of this rug. There are a few spots that will require further treatment. I might need a stain remover and leave it on and then try it again. All in all, this head is okay. What I did find, it does seem to extract more of the moisture than the standard head, and I think the reason why, because obviously there's no more suction provided, but the suction that is provided on this head is concentrated into a thin strip at the front. So because it's a narrower strip, it means the suction is more concentrated in one area, so it does seem to actually pull more of the solution out of the carpet, whereas the standard head, it's quite a large gap. So I think personally the spin scrub head will leave your carpet drier than the standard one. It's also easier to push than the standard one, but of course it's very noisy. The machine itself is pretty noisy, but added to the noise of this, it really needs, I think you'd need ear defenders if you're cleaning a large area of carpet, otherwise you'll have ringing in your ears by the end of it. What I have noticed is when you actually cut off the solution flow to dry the carpet, because that's what you must do, start by letting the solution flow to the spin scrub brushes and just go over 2 or 3 times what you'd class as a wet pass. Then when you cut off the solution, that also diverts most of the suction to the actual front of the nozzle. So the spin scrub brushes will still rotate slightly, but they won't go as fast. So in my mind it must divert. It's not there's a removable panel here, so you've got access. There's a little, it's a turbine, you can just about, so you won't be able to see it. That's in case there's you get a blockage. But all in all, yeah, I think it is a useful addition to your Vax. I got mine from Amazon. At the time of making this video, I can't see it on Amazon. I've seen it on a Spares website, but it's about £50 odd, and mine was certainly a lot cheaper than that. So if you can pick it up for under 30, then it's really worth considering. And I think on a regular carpet, it'll probably do okay. What I'm going to do to finish this video, I'm going to try and clean the rest of the carpet, or the rug should I say. I'm just going to set the camera up and just go over the whole area using the spin scrub, but I'll speed up the footage because I think it's going to be a long job. Well, I give up. Even speeded up, this is going to take ages. It's still not really removing all the coffee and hot chocolate stains. I don't know. Anyway, it was rather an extreme example, but I thought it would do a little bit better than this. But if I was just to stain the carpet as they do on the home shopping demonstrations with only gravy browning mixed with water in a spray bottle, then the results would have been impressive. But as far as the hot chocolate and coffee stains, I think I'm going to need to bring out the big guns. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about this video, please ask in the comments section below. And if you want to know if it's going to fit your particular Vax, you can ask me that and I'll see if I can find out for you. But I'll show you the fitting before I go. So if your Vax has a standard 32mm tube, which the majority of the current tub Vax cleaners will have, it will fit on. This is the solution adapter. Just squeeze it and show you. So if you have an adapter like that on your Vax, then the Spinscrub head should fit it. There may be a way of adapting it to fit earlier models, and I believe somebody has actually fitted this to a pneumatic George cleaner. I'm not sure how he did it, but there is ways and means around things. But anyway, this is the shape of the adapter you need, and as I said, most current Vax cleaners, the one I've used in this demo and the 6131, have this fitting. So the Spinscrub head should fit it.